My manuscript, how do I format this thing? So I am going to show you the best practices for formatting your manuscript. I am using Microsoft Word, but it works in any word processor that you're using. I think most people use Word, so that's what I'm going with. Right now I am using the newest version of Word, and this is on a Mac, and it's dark because I like the dark theme. So yours may not look exactly like this, but all the functions that I'm going to show you will still be there. So I have this little short story. I'm going to format it for you. First of all, your title, you should always have your title and then your name, and that should be centered on the very first page. And here's when you need to start a new page, one thing I've seen a lot of people do is just hit enter a whole bunch. And you should never, ever, 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 ever do that. Okay, guys, what you're gonna do is insert a page break. So that is either Command Enter or I think Control Enter on a Windows computer. You can also go to Insert, no, yeah, there we go. Insert Page Break, and it puts this nice new little page break in here. So you're gonna wanna do that after every single chapter is put a page break. And if you come over here and you show your formatting, you'll see page break right here. So we don't want a whole bunch of enters, we just want a page break after your title and your name. You can leave your title and your name in the default text. Sometimes I might make it a little bit bigger or a little bit bolder, but for a basic manuscript, you just need your title and your name, and then a page break. And one fun little trick that I do that you might find helpful is I don't like seeing this gap right here. So you do this and double tap, and it doesn't do anything. You double tap, there we go, and it shortens it, and so it just kind of hides that little gap between the pages. That way you can see more of your manuscript at once. So now on your very first page, we want to remove these. Obviously, we don't need them. For your chapter 1, I always make my chapter 1 a stylized heading because it helps with the formatting and it helps just kind of set it apart. So you can come up here and you can choose one of these standard headings that Word has. You can make your own. You can make it a little bit bigger or bold or something fancy, and say you want it to look like this, and one of the standard styles on Word doesn't match it. So what you can do is spruce this up, make it look how you want it, come over to heading, right click, update heading 1 to match selection. So now you've just fixed that so that every time you select something and then you hit heading 1, it'll format it that way. I usually just stick to whatever the default heading is because it doesn't really matter. You just want it to have an actual heading on it. That way your manuscript is formatted better. So I'm gonna go ahead and turn this off. So this story is an alternating point of view. So each chapter is a different character. So I have the character's name right here. If you do not have alternating point of view, don't even worry about this. Just go chapter 1 and then start right on. If you do, make sure you put the person's name here, and don't ever switch point of views in different chapters or even scenes without laying out who's actually speaking, because you will confuse your reader a lot. So, okay, then we come down here. I like to have the very first sentence of every chapter not indented because it just looks nice. That's a personal preference, so you don't have to do it. You can if you want. But your manuscript should be double spaced always. So you can select all, that's Command A, Control A, or you can go to Edit, select all. And then you come over here to either the spacing icon and pick double spacing. You can also right click and go to paragraph. And for your line spacing, you can pick double. Always choose don't add space between paragraphs of the same style. You are not writing a blog post, you're writing a manuscript, so you do not need that space between the paragraph. And I know that in some versions of Word, it will automatically add that space after every paragraph. It looks awful, it looks juvenile and immature, so get rid of it. Check this box. And that will make your manuscript double spaced. Now, another thing, you should always have an indentation. Every single paragraph, again, except the first if you want to do that. Every single paragraph needs an indentation. What you don't want to do is press the tab key. Don't press the tab key, that's awful. What you want to do is format it. So again, we can do select all, right click, paragraph, and right here we have indentation, inside, outside, special, whatever. So you're going to pick special, first line, and 1/2 inch is your default. You can change it up if you want, but again, we're going default, how manuscript should be formatted. We're going to keep it at 5. So we click OK. So now, well, okay, some reason I lost my spacing, but it has indented every single paragraph automatically at 1/2 inch. So I can come back here and add the double spacing again. So what's cool about this is every single time you hit enter and start typing another paragraph, do you like this word? It's incredibly eloquent, I know. So when you start typing a new paragraph, it'll automatically start it with this indentation. So you don't have to hit tab every time. Tab is a button of the past. We will not be using that anymore. We will use the automatic indentions. So this is looking pretty good. One other thing you want to do for your manuscript is select it all again. And you see this here is the jagged left align. You want it to be justified. So we have left, center, right. I don't know when anyone would use right, but we're going to do justified. And so now you have this nice clean edge on your manuscript, and it looks better. It will upload better to KDP, and it just all around makes it a more clean manuscript. But you'll notice, because I just did this after the fact, it took all my headings and also made them justified, so you can just go back and center them again. So then we go down, down, down. Chapter 2. Let's turn on the formatting. I have a page break. I do not have a bunch of enters. I have a page break. Chapter 2. This needs to be heading. This needs to be centered. Come down. Chapter 3. This needs to be heading, centered. You get it. So basically, that is a simple way to format your manuscript. Any agent or editor or anyone you send this to will be happy to look at your manuscript if it's formatted in this way. It's not messy, it's not sloppy, it's clean, and this is industry standard. When it comes to fonts, theoretically, Times New Roman is the font that most people want. Oops, that wasn't right. Times, there we go. Times point size 12 is your default font, but that's also kind of going away now. You don't have to, but you need to use something similar to this. You need to use either Times or, like, I prefer Cambria right here. I just think it looks better. But don't get cute with it. Don't pick some weird font like this. Times, Cambria, something simple and something professional and elegant. And that's how you format your manuscript.